From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way up to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Kruger, and this is going to be your first NorCal, kind of encompassing all of Northern California forecast. This is something I mentioned on Facebook, did a poll to see how all of you would respond, and boy, it came back with flying colors. Over 400, 500 responses of people saying go for it. And what I mean by that is, rather than regurgitating the same data for both the North State and the North Coast in two separate forecasts, I figured it'd be best to just combine them, put them together. Because the overall job of these updates that I do here is to give you an overall kind of detailed forecast of what's going on with the weather patterns. From there, if you're looking for your neighborhood forecast, you can get that right here from your app or from weathernorcal.com. If you're looking for the live 24-hour streaming channel, there it is right there. This is, of course, where you can also get the latest forecast updates. That, of course, is what this is right here. There's the 24-hour channel. On that 24-hour channel, we'll have the latest update like this one on there regularly. On top of that, we'll have all of your neighborhood forecasts, the 6 different neighborhood forecasts, and you'll see where those are on the website, weathernorcal.com, and of course, all of the streaming information here as well. Now, you can get that on your Roku and Amazon Fire TV and coming to Apple TV soon. So we're going to give this a shot. Let me know what you think, and we'll kind of go from there. But take a look at what it looks like at Trinidad. Boy, it got to clear out here this afternoon quite nicely, making for a gorgeous day out there today. We take you up north into Crescent City, also gorgeous there as well. I did get a comment from someone asking why it was so smoky in the Eureka area, and there's a reason for that. The fires in southeastern Oregon off the coast of Oregon, that smoke made its way down the ocean and then down into the Eureka area, and that explains some of the smoke that you did see out there for today. But of course, looks beautiful out there in Crescent City. We take you out to Redding right now. Take a look at our live cam there. We did see some of those thunderstorms popping up in eastern Lassen County, but I do expect most of that activity to be gone by this evening, and we'll be looking at dry conditions here for tonight. All right, so here's the deal. We've got temperatures dropping this week, a possibility for some mountain showers and maybe some, of course, some elevated winds on Thursday as well, which we'll get into that a little bit later. Also, cooler temperatures with the possibility of some more rain coming in towards the end of the weekend and early next week, which we'll get into that a little bit later as well. All right, so let's take a look at those smoke. Okay, so there's some of the haze that we're seeing here this evening. We're going to take you to tomorrow morning. Now, we're seeing most of the haze and smoke kind of in this general area right here. Still some haze in the valley and to the east and west of the valley as well. But you'll notice overall, these gray colors is just haze. It's really not terrible air quality. You're not going to smell a lot of smoke out there. But it looks like there'll be some more smoke that'll be generated by Wednesday evening from some of the fires, but still just some haze out there. Then we take you into Thursday morning, and again, just some pockets of haze. So again, this will all depend on the activity coming from the fires, but it looks like overall conditions are expected to improve smoke-wise when we're talking about pretty much all of Northern California. All right, so here's a look at the satellite image here. Lost a little bit of data earlier today, but that all came back in. And you can see the cold front right here that passed on through. This is where it is right now. That cold front is responsible for the thunderstorms we saw in Lassen County earlier today. But of course, now that that has passed, we're going to be looking at, of course, drier conditions coming in behind that. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at Futurecast. Okay, so here you can see as we go through the day tomorrow, there's 10 p.m., we're actually maybe looking at the potential for, say, around Plumas County, a little bit of activity, but you can see everyone else looking at dry conditions. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take you on into Thursday. Now, you'll see there's a bit of a spin kind of doing something like this. The main area of low pressure is still up to the north and west. So the flow around that low is what's generating these showers and thunderstorms. You'll notice it's mainly to our north, but we are seeing some activity making its way into Modoc County by Thursday evening at 5 o'clock. Now we take a look at the long-range forecast. This is going into Friday morning, and then you can still see some activity in the eastern mountains. So I expect with Thursday/early Friday morning's system, the bulk of the activity will be in the eastern mountains. I think everyone else will be looking at dry conditions. Now we take you into Saturday. Saturday looks dry, probably just a lot of high and mid-level clouds, but still dry on Saturday. Now, the forecast models diverge on when the rain will arrive, but as it stands right now, I think the best chance will start around Sunday. This could include the valley, but I think all of Northern California has a chance for showers come Sunday. Now, we have a stronger system possibly coming in around Monday of next week, and there you can see, especially for the coast, inland areas, and for Trinity County, not to mention north of the valley, but that will extend on to Modoc County as well. You'll see a little less activity here off to the south and to the east, but this is what it looks like Monday at around noon. Now, I'm going to take you into Tuesday. Now, this particular forecast model dries us out on Tuesday and then keeps us dry through the rest of the week. The European forecast model actually has a chance for rain in there on Tuesday. So bottom line, here's what I'm looking at. I'm thinking sometime around Sunday, there's going to be a chance for rain for everyone. That'll continue into Monday and then Tuesday of next week as well. Now, some places like the coast, for example, I think will see more rain out of it eventually, but of course everyone else still has that chance, including the valley and pretty much everyone in the mountains. All right, so let's take a look at that overall pattern. This is what's responsible for some of that wet weather we've seen in the past. That's moving out. There's that cooler air pulling down. So the key factors coming out of this storm system here, number one, much cooler. We're going to notice a big drop in our temperatures for everyone, including the inland areas, the mountains, the valley. That's where we're going to see the biggest drop in the temperatures here. Of course, not so much for the coast. But also, this is where we're seeing the best chance for showers and thunderstorms. That's where we saw it on Futurecast, right? And then, of course, mainly off to the east of that. But also, on top of that, with this area of low pressure where it is, this is a prime setup for gusty winds. So that's why we have those winds, especially in the valley. That being said, we're also expecting some very gusty winds out along the coast as well. And we'll take a look at that here in a second. That area of low pressure will move off to the east by Friday, and the winds will die down as a result. All right, so let's take a look at those winds. We're going to take you into Wednesday. Notice all the reds and oranges. I mean, that's 40 to 50 miles per hour. So some very gusty winds off the coast right here, right? Now, by Wednesday, 5 p.m., we'll also just begin to notice those winds picking up a little bit here for the valley. But until then, the wind's not a problem here through most of the day on Wednesday. Now, as we go into Thursday morning, notice the winds picking up. You see how they're upwards of, see the green and then the yellows. That's upwards of 30 miles per hour and maybe some higher gusts. But notice along the coast, we are seeing those winds dying down a bit. So that's certainly some good news. We take into Thursday afternoon. Still a little gusty in some spots here for the valley, a little gusty too just off the coast. But then as we go into Thursday night into Friday, those winds will die down. Now I want to show you the fire weather risk here because it's not really a concern here as we go into your Wednesday. However, by Wednesday evening, we're seeing just a little bit of yellow, which means it's just getting a little elevated. That's what those winds beginning to pick up. Now, as we go into Thursday, you see what's happening? We're starting to see some oranges in there. That's indicating getting in the high range. Now, as a result of these gusty winds and dry conditions, the National Weather Service has decided to issue a fire weather watch for Wednesday evening through Thursday afternoon. Now, this may eventually get upgraded to a red flag warning later on as we go through the day on Wednesday, but that's because of the gusty winds out there. Now, kind of interesting too, we actually have our first freeze watch of the season for Wednesday night through Thursday morning for eastern Siskiyou and most of Modoc County. Overnight lows there between 27 and 32 degrees. That could mean some damage to some crops out there, so just be aware of that. Look at the wave heights out on the coast here. They're still pretty high for your Wednesday, but not quite as high as they have been. And the good news is they'll continue to drop going into Thursday. There's a marine forecast, north winds at 20 to 30 knots. There's that gale warning. Now, the gale warning won't take effect until tomorrow afternoon. In the meantime, there is a small crash advisory, so just be aware of that if you need to be out on your boat out along the coast here. All right, so here's what we have in store for us tonight. Temperatures in the valley, of course, will be the warmest, but we're beginning to cool off in the higher elevations. The coast, temperatures low to mid-50s. As we take you to tomorrow, And we're looking at those temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. We're beginning to see the temperatures drop across the board. So instead of the 90s, how about mid to upper 80s for the valley? In the 60s and 70s for the higher elevations, and for the coast, nothing unusual there. Temperatures in the mid 60s. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook. We're going to start off with some of the mountain locations, and there you can see, of course, the day of fall. We're going to transition from summer to fall Friday night. So the first full day of fall will actually be on Saturday. But there's that chance for showers, thunderstorms, mainly for Modoc County and the eastern mountains on Thursday. Otherwise, I think everyone else will be dry. They were dry Friday, Saturday, and there is what I call a broad brush forecast. Everyone in Northern California, Sunday through Tuesday of next week, does have at least a chance for some wet weather here. There you can see for the valley, temperatures are starting to drop. We'll notice a bigger drop here by Thursday, and we keep it down to the upper 70s to low 80s here, taking you through early next week. Here's your 7-day outlook, taking a look at the coast, inland, and for Trinity County. And there, of course, we are looking at those temperatures beginning to drop as well, especially for inland and Trinity County. With those temperatures in the mid 70s by Thursday, and then looks like kind of leveling out as we get into after that is. There, of course, you can also see that chance for showers Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.